Hey video friends, grab a cup of something and sit down because we're gonna have a little chat today about creating a wardrobe that you love. Because that's part of what I do as an image consultant, help my clients build wardrobes that they love. And that's kind of part of what every image consultant does if they're working on a broad scale with a client, not if they're just dressing them for an event, right? But I want to talk about that because so many people, they open their closets and there's guilt hanging in there, and there's frustration hanging in there, and there's sadness hanging in there. My goodness. And really, when you open your closet, I don't remember who the quote, and if I find who it was, but like when you open your closet, it should be like going to a party with all of your best friends. Like you should love what's in there. You should love how it makes you feel. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today. I have posted in the past about kind of one of the number one things to do, and that is to, I guess I would put number one, and if I'm going to put a little thingy up here somewhere, number one is to figure out what you really wear. Figure out what you really wear, not what you think you wear, not what somebody else tells you ought to be wearing, not what the dress code is at the place that you work or whatever, but what you really wear day to day, day long, day to day. And I don't mean like, oh, well, I just wear my yoga pants all day long, but if I'm going somewhere, I put on, Because if yoga pants are what you're wearing all day long, then that's what you really wear, right? It's not what you put on to go someplace. What you really wear is what you're wearing almost all the time, right? So let's just be honest about that, because if you're not, you can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You can't change it. You just can't, right? You have to accept where you are in order to move forward. So figure out what you really wear. And my favorite way to do that is by doing what I call it's just an exercise, right? And what you do is you shove everything over in your closet and give yourself 6 or 8 inches of space. And then as you wear things, you hang them in that empty space. And what you do is you kind of tie a little ribbon on the bar, and I'll link a video below about how to do this, activity. And do it for 30 days. Just do it for 30 days, because 30 days in general will let you know how you dress from day to day. I mean, unless you happen to be spending 3 weeks of those 30 days on vacation, right? So yeah, you want to find out what you really wear. Day to day, day in, day out. What is it you really wear? Because that should be most of your wardrobe, right? That should be most of what you own, is the stuff you actually wear. Kind of step 2 is if it's figuring out how you want to show up in the world. And ideally, that is as yourself, right? As you. We want you to feel comfortable in your own skin. We want you to be you, because when you show up, you shine. When you pretend to be somebody else, it doesn't work very well. And that is often, this second step is often the most challenging, particularly when we get to kind of midlife, because we have spent our whole lives as somebody else's daughter, somebody else's student, somebody else's girlfriend and wife and mother, and because you lose your name there, you're just Bob's mom, right? So figuring out who you are and how you want to show up in the world can be the hardest part of this process. But I have a hint for you, is when you dig around in your closet for the pieces that you really, really love, they will often show you who you are and how you want to show up in the world. Okay. And I guess that's for another video, and we'll talk about kind of picking those 5 things. And I may have a video about it, and if so, I'll link it below. There you go. So figure out how you are, who you are, and how you want to show up in the world, right? I would say step 3 is to learn about your body shape and your coloring, right? Because fighting those things really does not make showing up as your best self easy. Right? If you fight your coloring, if you fight your body shape, if you don't, like I said at the beginning, if you don't accept where you are, then you can't go anywhere from there, right? It's like going to the hairdresser. Like when you go to the hairdresser and you show the hairdresser the picture, and you have like wild curly hair, and you show the picture of like the sleek straight hair down to here that's a completely different color than yours, and it doesn't match your texture, it's going to be an exercise in frustration every day. right? Because you're going to have to fight that hair every single day. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you're at a point in your life where you stop fighting that and you're doing whatever works for your hair, and it makes it easier, right? It just, who needs to start the day fighting? And I feel the same way about my closet, and I feel the same way about your closet, right? Getting dressed every day should not be an exercise in frustration. It should not be, oh, well, this pair of pants doesn't really fit, and it's not just that I've gained 3 pounds, it's the shape has never been right, and now this shirt makes me look sick to my stomach every time I put it on. Like, the stuff that does not work for your body shape and your coloring should not be taking up real estate in your closet. It doesn't make you feel good when you put it on. It's money gone. Money's gone. Keeping it in your closet isn't adding to your bank account, so just let it go. Whether that's reselling it, whether that's donating it, whatever, just make it go away. Those things that don't work for your coloring and your body shape, let them go. Let them go, because they're not helping you feel good. And then last, once you've figured out who you are and how you want to show up in the world, what it is you really wear, and learned about your body shape and coloring, then, and only then, is it time to dig into your wardrobe and curate that wardrobe. Curate those pieces. So edit out the stuff that isn't working for you, and then bring in slowly, piece by piece, things that do work for you and you feel like are really you. And it's simple, but not easy. And the reason it's not easy is that we're so busy listening to what other people are telling us we should wear. What the number of articles about women over 40 or over 50 or over 60 should and shouldn't wear. Not going there. Not going there. Not at all. So, yeah. Or telling you that if you want the perfect capsule wardrobe, then it needs to have these ingredients in it. Well, no, because those ingredients may not be that number one item, what you really wear, right? I was reading a book the other day, and in it, I'm trying to remember, it was something on Kindle Unlimited, and I was reading it and I was really enjoying it. And one of the women in the book, she had lost like 3 stone and she needed new clothes, so she was going to the dressmaker. Obviously, this is a little while ago. And the items she ordered from the dressmaker were a skirt suit, a trouser suit, 2 skirts, and 2 dresses. Perfect for her lifestyle, for her life. Right? If that's going to work for her life, that's great. Would a skirt suit, a trouser suit, 2 skirts, and 2 dresses work for my daily life? No. And you know what? I'll do another video kind of about that. We'll throw that out. We'll throw that out for the future. If that sounds like a good plan to you, then go ahead and let me know in the comments below. But figuring out what you really wear, figuring out how you want to show up in the world, learning about your body shape and your coloring, and then bringing those 3 pieces together and using that information to inform what you do when you curate your wardrobe. And I got to tell you, when you you're figuring out what you really wear, don't buy anything. Shop your wardrobe, shop your closet, play around in there, because before you buy anything, you need to look at the things that you already own, that you do wear, and that you love. Because those are the kind of things you want to make sure that you have in quantity, in the right quantities in your wardrobe. And then the things that you don't wear and that you don't love, or that somebody else suggested you buy because they loved it. Yeah. Can I tell you? The number of closets I go into, and people have all these beautiful things hanging in there that so-and-so told them were really fabulous on them. But it wasn't their personality. It didn't work for their personality style or their lifestyle. And yes, it's lovely. It's beautiful hanging in there like a museum piece. And if you want a closet full of museum pieces that you can go and open the door and look at art, beautiful fashion art, that is okay. But if you want a wardrobe that really works for you and that is giving you good vibes when you go in there, and that you can wear and feel good about showing up, how you're showing up in the world, and getting dressed and feeling good about yourself and going, okay, I am ready to do this today. right? If that's what you want, then stacking a bunch of museum pieces and things that work for somebody else or that somebody else thinks are beautiful on you are not necessarily the best choice. So, just a little chat today. I hope, if any of the things that I talked about sound like you want me to expand on them, let me know in the comments below, because that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm showing up for every week, is for you, to try and be helpful and help you kind of enjoy your wardrobe more. Because why not? Because you got to get dressed every day, so why not enjoy it? And a lot of people use the word, whatever. We'll talk about that another day. Another day. Stay safe and sound, sane and stylish. Thank you for spending a couple of minutes with me today, because your time is precious and any of you spend with me is a gift. Bye.